What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 21 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Aranessa Saltspite campaign. So as we saw last time, a lot of the Luckies and Norscan Raiders had their debut together with the melee man-eaters and ripped into an army belonging to Monte Castello. Finally got to see those Norscans take action, though they are not yet in their final form, at least not until we get to that swordfish ram, the Sawshark's blade. There we go. That's it. And that will buff them up considerably, adding almost 40%, I guess 36% melee and missile damage, though of course for the Norscans, that'll be melee. And I assume that they count as Sartosan units, because they are Sartosan Norscan Raiders, so can't wait to see them be 40% more damaging. And in terms of what we gotta do this time around, we do have some rats to hunt as we have declared war and must destroy them. I'm wondering whether O'Bones McDonald would be able to force them into a fight alone, since there are two armies. I'm also thinking that they might run, but we'll have to see in a second. Otherwise, we do have this little army hanging around, and they're probably going to attack Caesarea Wood. No guarantee, of course, they could try to run from Lana the Lucky, but we shall see. Alright, let us see what we've got to do this turn. Or this time around. Who still has to move? I think it's just the rat hunters, so... Oh, Bones, I guess you're gonna take a shot. Let's see if these guys are willing to fight. I'm not willing to risk the campaign movement range penalty via parlay stance, so let's just move like this. Presumably they're sufficiently damaged to run, but let's just hope that they don't cross the river. Alright, you're gonna run... I was not Oh, game. Okay, that's just rude. I can't believe that's the way you're gonna run. Wow. The most annoying possible direction he could have done that. Okay, what about this guy? Gonna do the same thing? Yeah, there's no catching you, is there? I'm gonna cross the river like that. Oh, game, how dare you. Absolutely, how dare you. Now we've kind of pushed them towards Cabreros. Well, this may have been an error. I guess we could summon somebody at Cabreros. Granted, there's no guarantee that they'll attack us there, but at the same time, I'm willing to bet that they will. What do we have in terms of defenses here? Nothing crazy. We don't have a defensive structure. We could... Well, we can't actually even afford a summoned lord, huh? Oh, Bones. Wait, double check. Penny Sharp, yeah, there's no way you're reaching them. Okay, fine. We will have, I guess, Harold Halfmast grab these islands, so that means Penny Sharp can move to Varin, but actually can't move there in one go anyway. This didn't quite work out, did it? Anyway, you're gonna go into ambush stance, and you're gonna go right here, just in case. Maybe they'll try to go for this place, maybe they won't, though it looks like they'll go for Cabreros. You know what, in order to summon a temporary lord and raise at least a couple of dead units, it would probably be of benefit to us. I'm just wondering whether we could just defend the place with what we got here. There's not much in the way of rats. The chieftains are really going to be the major issue. Oh, and of course the fact that the Night Runners are in stock will be an issue as well. Could use some zombies there. Alright, fine. Penny Sharp, I'm going to have you move right here briefly. Like so, you're gonna resolve this real quick, presuming that you can, which I do believe you should be able to. Grab the additional cash. And we need it, and then we'll get the 7,000 from that as well. Don't bother going for the other island, and go back out here towards Varin. What if you could go like, wait, like so. And then we'll hit Varin next turn. Then, I have another idea. You're gonna go into ambush as well. Just in case there's another army there that, you know, we may be able to react to. The other idea is we try to kind of screw Clan Scryer over. Now this is gonna be risky, but I don't like the idea of them holding on to Castle Bordelot with that lovely Manann's dry docks that we want. Especially Manann's dry docks. Daughter of Manann should definitely own those. So what we're going to do is declare war on the Chevalier de Lyonesse and hopefully draw Clan Squire in. I'm hoping the rest of our allies are willing to do this. If they cancel, I'll be very upset. Okay, don't screw us on this. Call your allies to help. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I cannot.
Ooh, okay, they all joined. Good. Alright, that's very good. We don't actually care about the Chevalier ourselves, but this will force the Skaven into a war. And actually, if they're willing to join wars like that... wait, first of all, Skaven, are you willing to join the war against Kurun? No. Maybe for a building later. Unfortunately, we did draw Kurun into the fight as well, and they may be coming for us. Then, I guess what we'll try to do is declare war on the Broken Axe as well. Now, by fighting the Chevalier, we could probably get them to like us, and frankly, I don't really care about these interior territories, but what we want to do is essentially capture them and transfer them to Clan Scryer, so that we don't have to deal with them while we take the coastline. Which means we're probably better off forcing Scryer to fight them as well, and then getting it essentially crushed between these guys. Let's hope this works as well, because that's what we're gonna do. Okay, yeah, that worked as well. Fantastic. Alright, let's hope this doesn't come back to bite us. Now, we do have a little bit of money, so we're going to recruit another Temp Lord, and they get recruited at rank 4. Probably want to get the Lore of Vampires to be able to summon a... wait, unless we have one that we can summon for free, but it doesn't look like we can. Alright. Murderers are usually the way to go, enemy leadership -2, particularly hurtful against the Skaven, and oh, we have both a Pistol Lord and a non-Pistol Lord. I guess it doesn't really matter which one we pick as long as we pick one. You have 1 to 6 and you have 2 to 7. I guess the pistol would be able to fire down, but has less loyalty. And you would actually be able to be more likely to fight the enemy... the enemy chieftains because of your defensive capabilities, I think. But I do like the idea of you firing down. Does it matter? No, you know I'm gonna get the pistol because you can fire down. Hopefully you don't rebel. Let's immediately get you Invocation of Nehek and Drown Dead and Curse of Undeath. You won't have much mana, but enough, hopefully. Then we're gonna get a couple of zombie pirate gunnery mobs, like so. And let's see, wait, can these guys reach any other place? Oh, they can reach all the way down here, damn. That'll be unfortunate. You know what? I will probably want to draw them in, so I think this is sufficient, or at least I hope it is sufficient. And we'll see what they do. We did expect this, so it is unfortunate if we do lose some territory because of it. We could cancel the buildings at Tobruk just because of this. Hey, you know what? Cancel these, so that if they get taken over, at least we won't have lost the money. Even though it's not that much money, but nonetheless. Alrighty, that looks good to me. I do believe we're good to go for next turn as well, and see what these guys do. And with their 4 Tomb King's armies, and then see what these guys do and the Skaven do. There's lots of stuff that's potentially happening. I guess there's also some upgrades we can do, but we can also do them next turn, so screw it. Outpost upgrade available. Okay, we got the level 2 here. I don't think we're going to spend the money on the level 3 at the current time. As long as we have the level 2, we have access to global recruitment, so we're good. Alright, away we go. Fabio Abandoni, let's see. Will you hit Caesarea Wood? And, yeah, they did go for a break, damn. Okay, well, I guess I could have summoned one there as well, and... I mean, honestly, it's such a... I don't want to win by auto-resolving this, but honestly, this is going to be such a hassle of a fight and really not worth our time, so I'm just gonna let this one go. And let's face it, it's not like we wouldn't have chased them down next turn anyway, so yeah. Just ransom the captives, and we'll continue chasing. Screw it. If it was a bigger fight or a bigger pile of enemies that I thought that, you know, would be more of a threat in our interior territories, I would have let them live. I done the auto-resolve battles so that they would have probably won, and ooh, yes, Fabio is indeed going to attack Caesarea Wood. This one I think we actually will fight, A, because it's valiant defeat, and should be tougher. I guess the Skaven were more liable to rout there, and... what do we have in terms of defenses? We got enough zombies, we'll be fine, I think. The auto-resolve likes to lie. Alright, here we go. Obviously a relatively minor battle, though we do have a fair amount of zombie units to rely upon, and there's two reasons why I'm making the exception to this as compared to that little Skaven fight. Ooh, a nice little volley from the pistol gunnery mobs. Anyway, the exception is obviously the fact that the auto-resolve really thinks we're going to lose with that valiant defeat. And on top of that, there's a couple of units of zombie pirate gunnery mob hand cannons here, which we just don't use or haven't really used throughout this campaign, or at least not a lot, mostly because I still think that there really isn't a reason to build them over deck gunners, and we'll probably continue not building them over deck gunners, so yeah, less damage and 1/3 the range or whatever. Why? What's the point? They don't do enough damage at close range for what they offer, and I get that they're cheap and stuff, but anyway, ooh, nice air on that charge from our rotting Prometheans as they wade into the fray and the zombies follow them down the hill. Love that moonlight shining at our backs as well. And now, the main reason we charge forth like this is to try to move forward and engage those enemy crossbows so that they can no longer fire, while our vampire fleet captain and admiral can go after the enemy lord. And with a little bit of backup from those polearm units, which I guess we also haven't been using a lot throughout this campaign, mostly because they just get replaced too quickly. And I generally don't build the polearm and sword zombies as opposed to the pistol zombies, which are just too useful, and by comparison, just as cheap and yet much more effective at chasing and having the ability to gun enemies down. And we certainly need all the help with chasing we can get in a lot of armies, since we can't use scurvy dogs due to that damn auto-resolve not liking them. Anyway, hand cannons firing away best as they can into those great swords, and it looks like they did at least some damage, actually out of curiosity. Not that much damage though. I guess it was a combined sort of thing. We do have those two units of bombers, and they'll probably get the lion's share of the damage in this particular army, as they are quite effective at blowing up all those piles of infantry. Looks like we are managing to overrun the enemy army pretty much on all sides. Two units of pistoliers, or not really pistoliers, but handgun, nope, not handguns, pistols and cutlasses, gunnery mobs rather. Too many different zombie types of units. Overrun the enemy pistoliers, as well as whatever was on the enemy flanks. Looks like our units of polearms and crabby boys are still holding and have prevented those two enemy units from firing, and are now allowing us to smash the enemy with both bombs and this unit of handguns firing from this hill, or down from this hill. Alright, positioning worked out quite well for us in this particular battle, as the enemy had to make their way up the hill the whole time. Looks like the enemy lord is done for as well, as our captain and admiral bring him down and keep each other nice and full HP with that invocation of Nehek. Didn't get too much value out of those bats, but they did prevent a unit of crossbows from firing until they started to shatter, and that certainly works for us, especially since it's a garrison unit and that we won't be needing again. A few more volleys from those hand cannons. Let's see, this one up to 39 kills and 4.3k damage. Yeah, kind of incomparable to the damage dealt by the bombers, but, well, we've seen how effective they've been throughout this campaign, and the same goes for the crabby boys. Anyway, that is about it for this battle. Gonna run off at least a few of the enemy units, but it looks like this army has lost its relevance. Alright, there we go. Honestly, that wasn't too bad at all, and perhaps I shouldn't underestimate the humble zombies either, and the Skaven would have been similarly crushed by the basic units, especially considering this auto-resolve said we'd have a valiant defeat, and that one didn't. But oh well. Minor battles not as necessary at this stage in the game, as in it's a little bit too late for that. Confederation, Reichland, and the Golden Order. Oh, that's interesting. Another free ship's Necromancer with a little bit of extra research rate and recruitment cost reduction for Lord's Army. I suppose if we put a hero in the Recruiter Lord's Army, that might be somewhat useful. Loyalty level low for who? For Connor Coughlin? I don't know for who it was, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Connor, you should... Oh, or should we use Lana for this? Lana, quick question. Are you able to reach any settlement? No, no, and no, which means we're gonna have you kill this, and then we'll have you go after a settlement afterwards. Because Connor was just a temporary summon lord, and we'll delete him in a second as well. Let's max out the healing this time around, and then let us put you towards Monte Castello, I guess. Ooh. You know what, let's get as close to it as we can, just so that we guarantee that we can actually get there. I was thinking we go into raiding stance, but probably not worth it. Right, lose the Legstone, lose the Necro. We'll put the Necro on Lana. Mostly because she's right there. I'll probably trade it for somebody else later on. You, sir, are now out. Let's not pay for those zombies unnecessarily. And Lana will hopefully take Monte Castello itself and deprive the enemy of their capital. Maddie, you're going to go into Parlay stance and hit Tanea. And grab that for us, so like so. I'll resolve that, obviously. And occupied. Ooh. 5k for sacking it. 'Tis tempting, not going to lie. And you can stay in Parlay just to heal up a little more, head down to Verdanos, and then whatever else remains here, I guess to Argalis and Pugno, while Lana goes to Pavizano? Something along those lines. We obviously can't leave them here, wherein they could hit us where we're relatively undefended. Are you still at war with these guys? No. I don't even remember if you were ever at war with them or whether you just moved over there. I guess it doesn't really matter that much anymore. Ooh. Well, what do we have here? We could probably fight 3 armies at once. I'm wondering if we force this one back, would we be able to fight 4 armies at once or only 3? I guess we'll find out in a second. Let's do whatever else we need to do and then kill off an epic number of Tomb Kings. Herald, you're gonna grab Parlay stance as well and auto-resolve Torquerindus, destroying Everkarth's faction for good. Pyrrhic victory against this? No. We've already seen him destroy much more devastating forces than that. Occupy. There we go. And yeah, there's no need to repeat the battle, essentially, when he's already won, essentially, against the same enemies. And alright, we have the catacombs here. Free money. As always, nice. We will also delete the Deckhand's Boneyard here. And we will get that Dredge of the Sea up and running. Grab the shipwreck here, shore patrol. You continue patrolling the shore while heading towards that sea line. And all of that looks good. Penny Sharp. Now let's see about moving into Varen here. And then we'll need to chase the rest of the Skaven armies. Yeah, you can obviously auto-resolve this. Try not to get too damaged. I guess you're a temporary army, but nonetheless. Boatswain... Huh. Missile resistance reduction. But you gain physical resistance, which almost counteracts it. But you gain speed charge bonus and leadership. Kind of an interesting, I guess. Keep it around for now. Occupy the place. Yes. And yes, you can keep the banner. Clannish and revealed and destroyed. Don't collect the income, but certainly dredge that sea, and let's repair, and we'll do the buildings in a little bit. Or possibly I'll do them off between the episodes. Oh, Bones, you have to chase, unfortunately. So, we're gonna send you right here. Somebody has to do this, after all. And we'll need to capture these territories before these guys get another army out here. Alright, and you head out to destroy them. You'll run, but we should be able to reach you with both armies and auto-resolve you to death. No more of this, if you please. Alright, fairly well, Gautry. Gautry sounds like more of a dwarfen name than a Skaven name, doesn't it? It does to me. Alright, Peggy, you have nothing on you, and you are no longer needed here. And we'll get you back up and running, possibly later. Oh, Bones, head out this way. You're gonna go to Ciernos, while Penny Sharp moves towards Pina Wood. And though we do have to be careful since hers is a temporary army and is going to have a difficult time against a lot of enemy, decent armies, let's say. Alright, let's see who else needs to move or do anything other than Aranessa, because she's gonna fight. Gang presses sea legs, yes. Reduce the upgrade cost of these two buildings, and then move towards Miragliano. Let's see if we can reach it in one go. I think we can't, but, you know, it would be nice if we could. And there you go, you're gonna full speed stand. Nah, you can't quite reach it, unless... Wait. Is this really all cliffside? Okay, this isn't. This... Hey. This is Abino and this is Miragliano, right? Can you land here? Ah, you can land here, and you are at Miragliano. Fantastic. The reduction is there. Alright. Pirate Wharf for cheap. Let's upgrade the Pirate Fortress. Buried treasure chest, and then whatever else we wanted to build here. Which is, well, there's not a lot of ports, so we don't really care about... Oh, wait, that's not the night... We don't need the night bars here anyway. Let's get the munitions hut. We need more deck gunner capacity. And I believe we need more... Oh, 5.4k for that Great Altar of the Necrarchs, rather. A little bit on the expensive side. I'll think about it. In the sense that I won't build it yet. The rebels are still building here, but Charlie Sharp is still gaining 2.6k for his raiding, and he doesn't really need to push out here. So I think we're just gonna let him continue the raid, and once Blazkek and the Greenskins attack each other, then we'll capitalize on it right after. Pirates are opportunists after all, and we have to live up to that reputation. Tiny Tim, you're fine. Treasure Coven. You've nearly made it to where you're supposed to be. And unless I'm incorrect, this is indeed where you're supposed to be. Deadly Plunder. What do we have to do here? Raid? Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. Dig. And arcane item gained, a great hoard of treasure. Hey, money and a forbidden rod. That's nice. That's real nice. Well done to Treasure Coven. Indiana Bones. You have places to be, namely to Erengrad ye shall go, both to dig and to establish a new pirate cove. Also, you're apparently finding a lot of stuff. Wait. Bone Rattlers are here. I swear I saw more bone rattlers. Huh, they're here as well. Did they confederate somebody or did they sail over there? There's a lot of bone rattlers. Huh. Interesting. Because if they're here... because I wanted to find bone rattlers in my Grimgor campaign as well, and now I'm confused as to where they start. Alright, I need to double check that. Anyway, that looks like that's it. We still do have money, but we also do have a fight ahead of us. Aranessa has the Sawshark's Blade now, which means we can transfer the Ship's Carpenter away from her. Ship's Carpenter lost. What do we gain in favor of it? We have the Burnt Banner of Knights, which probably should go to a depth guard. Ship's colors cause fear, overzealous speed. I forget, does she have a banner on herself? Oh yeah, she has the healing banner. Yeah, she should keep that. We don't really need the Razor Standard here. I mean, I guess we could put it on a unit. Wouldn't be horrible. Gonfalon the Green Hands. Nah, that should still probably go on something crazy effective. Sartosan Maprite, that's the Ship's Carpenter. Yeah, nothing crazy here. Alright, fine. I guess we'll get a Razor Standard and put it on one of the Sartosa Pirate Mercs for when they go into melee. Otherwise, Aranessa, let's level you up. We've gotten Hornswoggle now. We could get you Freebooter. I didn't actually quite calculate... Well, I guess we're gonna make you a super strong fighter. We just want to go into all hands away and screw Black Flag, right? I guess the question here then is, do we go for Rotten Death to make the Rotting Prometheans even more defensive, or Reanimated Marksman? It's not actually all that much damage, but it is plenty of ammunition. It'll help the deck gunners, surely. But this is quite a bit of... You know what? I still don't know, so I'm going to choose make Aranessa more deadly. Let's get her cutlass. and see if we can get her to around 800 weapon strength before buffs. Rest of you are going to need those points applied as well. We are going through, I believe, gun sight to see just how strong we can make you. Oh, missile resistance. For we are the elite. Not bad either. For this particular army, actually. Man, the gunnery whites are real useful for buffing the army. Let's get you gun sight. There you go. I'd like to see how hard you can hit. Billy Butcher. Wild-eyed for you, sir, and I guess we'll get you. We are the elite now. Don't really care about Wretched or Hunters in the Dark in this army, after all. Or we just make you an even more strong killer of things. Yeah, you know what, let's get your Ravenous attack. I like the little bit of missile resistance it provides in addition to the attack, doubling up on useful traits. You have Retinue Valet. We did want to potentially get potentially, but otherwise, we do use Fog of the Damned, so let's max it out. Looks good to me. Alrighty, let's see about getting ourselves a good battle. Oh, I'm gonna just transfer that ship's carpenter just so that I don't forget for later. Trusty Montford, you are gonna get the ship's carpenter. Actually, just out of curiosity, this currently costs 4.5k, and what it will cost 2 point something. Yeah, 2k exactly. Huh. 4.5 down to 2 exactly. Interesting. Well, interesting and good. We'll save the rest of the growth for another upgrade of the sea cabin. And I'll probably swap it around to the others. You know what, I'll do that between the episodes, just so that I don't waste time on screen swapping stuff. Anyway, Aranessa Saltspite to King Fuckdom. Away you go. You're not gonna run, right? There's 3 of you here. No way you run. Okay, yeah, he's not running. He is not running, which is great for us. Let's put a Razor Standard on one of the Pirate Mercs. Make him hit even harder. And speaking of hitting harder, ooh, the missile strength was around 200 before we got the Goreslick Ram, or the shark sawtooth swordfish thing. The final building, the capstone building. And we gained about 100 missile strength. Well, that's going to come in real handy against the Tomb Kings with all of their nasty, nasty stuff. Ushabti with Great Bow, Tomb Scorpions, Necropolis Knights, plenty of things to be concerned about. And the Casket of Souls, particularly concerning as it can kill our poor deck gunners so quickly, if we let it. And it probably isn't particularly threatened by the Queen Bess either. Anyway, I'm talking this up because I'm excited about it. Let's see what the enemy can do. Alrighty, here we go, facing off against Tomb Kings in the frozen tundra here, or the mountains, I guess, actually, but frozen territory anyway. Not the sands that the Tomb Kings are very much used to, though I suppose they've gone to Norska, so they've seen plenty of snow. Anyway, here we go. The enemy is going to charge some Necropolis Knights directly towards us at our rotting Promethean gunnery mobs, and we have effectively sallied out towards the enemy army. Now, I was thinking about whether we should do this or not, obviously from a what would be a more advantageous perspective. It would be to stay all the way back here around our artillery or our gunnery corps here and allow them to destroy like half or more of the enemy army before they approached, especially with the extremely slow movement speed of the various undead units. But I really wanted to see our Sartosans and our Ogre Man-Eaters, and I guess the gunnery mobs as well, in melee action. So I decided that we were going to send everybody forth and fight at a distance where the enemy could actually engage us and we didn't just destroy them all from melee. Of course, this is going to make the battle a lot more dangerous than it would otherwise be, and we're liable to take a lot more damage, but it's in the name of fun and the fact that, well, there hasn't really been all that much that's threatened Aranessa's armies lately, so, you know. Or Aranessa's army, I should say. why not give the enemy a little bit more of an advantage and see what they can do with it? Anyway, the ogres are fighting together with the big old crabs, knocking out chariots and ghostly Nehekaran warriors as best they can, though I imagine these guys with their ethereal trait will have plenty of resistances on them, if I can ever select one. Now, 75 resistances on the Usurian's Legion of the Netherworld. You gotta love that unit when playing Tomb Kings. Now, it looks like an enemy unit of cav and chariots are trying to get around our lines, but they are getting gunned down by the deck gunners. Probably a good thing rather than charging towards said deck gunners. Enemy reinforcements are on the field, however, as this was only the opening skirmish, and we are trying to get our units of Sartosa pirate mercenaries, or were, around the flank, but with the arrival of the reinforcements, we're going to have to be a little bit more careful. In the middle of the fray, where all of our rotting Promethean gunnery mobs were fighting, the enemy summons its Ushabti from that 3rd level, a realm of the dead, a realm of souls rather, and it looks like that's a lot of Ushabti between the summoned ones and the regular ones, so our crabby boys may be a little bit in trouble, and we're gonna have to bail them out. There was a Tomb Scorpion here that we did stop in its tracks with the Tormentor Sword of Billy Butcher so that it cannot enter the fray, and it looks like finally the enemy has decided to start capitalizing on the fact that it has a lot of cavalry and chariots rushing towards our units of gunnery crew. It looks like we'll knock a few of those chariots out. Our gunnery and white will have to stand here. We'll at least be able to knock the first of the skeleton chariots out, but there's more where that came from. They are getting gunned down by the units of ogre pistols as we run them back to try to reinforce. But this is very, very dangerous for the extremely fragile deck gunners. Though at the very least the Sartosan carronades are less fragile than the undead gunnery crew would be, as they will at least not crumble away if they die. Alright, I am loving the fact that we're getting a little bit of work for our gunnery white, who doesn't usually get to do too much. Or at the very least not to do too much at melee range. He's got 10 kills to his name and about 2,000 damage. Nothing crazy, of course, but he spends pretty much every battle out of range. So, yeah, had to move those ogre backs, and same with a decent degree of our Sartosan mercenaries. Looks like one of our crabby boys is very badly hurt and in critical binding as well, so we'll have to watch out there. I'm back everybody up in a bit of a tactical retreat. I wouldn't have done so if it wasn't for the fact that the enemy were charging our guns, but it was clearly necessary here. Alright, and this is a regular rotting Promethean mob that we did summon on top of Jessie Rains so that she did not get killed by the Ushabti, which did attempt to surround her, and in fact succeeded, as she's had a difficult time in disengaging from this portion of the enemy. Though hopefully we can destroy enough of the others and recreate our battle lines, and bail Jessie out before she gets too heavily damaged. Alright, looking like a pretty darn good fight so far. Aranessa is also running around in the middle of all this, but she's mostly just trying to hunt enemy lords here. She's got, let's see, 10k damage despite only 10 kills, and hey, a lord actually moved toward her. And very, very nice. Or at least moved toward her rotting Promethean, and then is going to back off rather than fight her directly. A fog of the damned comes up and massively debuffs all the enemies, removing their melee attack. Always nice to fight the enemies with the fog up. And at the very least, all those skull effects are things that the Tomb Kings should be used to, between their caskets of souls and their screaming skull catapults and whatnot, and the fact that they have a skull storm, though we haven't seen one in this particular battle. Seeing those shots coming down from both of the deck gunners as well as Queen Bess, and the occasional shots from our Sartosan carronades, and though we do have to be a little bit careful, balance of power is still in the enemy's favor as well, and as we can see, we are taking plenty of damage by virtue of having engaged in the way that we did. The Landlubber Misfits are badly damaged. They're going to have to back out, and the looks like a couple of the Ogre units are hurt. All the Sartosans are in trouble, but the ogres are holding on, and 2 out of the 3 units of the Crabby Boys are holding on as well, though one had to back off, and I think may have actually crumbled away, as we see. It has died here while backing off. Looks like Jesse has gotten caught again. The enemy is hell-bent on surrounding and killing our vampire fleet captain, but with deck gunner support back up and running, it's easy to knock all those chariots out. We've also got a couple of spells coming down, both the army abilities and Queen Bess and the Vortex spell. And it looks like most of the enemy infantry are quickly going to fall. And Billy Butcher and Aranessa are joining the fray against, or continuing the fight against the enemy lords. And it looks like the latter are beginning to melt, and I think that might be the entirety of the enemy army beginning to melt. There we go, down goes, I think that was a prince. And the Tomb King will quickly follow as well. Between Aranessa and her pet, Morngul Haunter. We just gotta take care of the rest of the Nehekaran warriors and Tomb Guard and whatever stands against us still. Although we did have to back off most of our Sartosans, we still have the Crabby Boys and the Man-Eaters to do the work. Though we do have the enemy dropping Caskets of Souls shots among us, so we do have to be careful about that, as they can still dish out an insane amount of damage if we're not careful, though fortunately not as likely to be damaging the ogres, I would think. Alright, in fact, what's the range on the Caskets of Souls? It's at 500. Yeah, I guess. Queen Bess is at 627, yeah. A little bit better on Bess, but that's hardly surprising. It's still an extremely long-ranged enemy artillery piece. Now, speaking of artillery pieces, looks like the enemy was down to a mere 2 Screaming Skull catapults, which both just get destroyed with our army ability, and with Queen Bess firing at them. And now we just have to get rid of that damn Casket of Souls. Fortunately, Billy Butcher moves quite quick at 69, nice speed, reaches the casket, and in a few hits should be able to destroy it. Perhaps I should have sent him to destroy it earlier, but at the same time he was very useful in the main fight, killing lords and stuff, and there we go. Casket of Souls shatters. Too bad we can't get one of those of our own from Arcan, but oh well. A heroic victory for us, 1 unit destroyed, but otherwise a very fun battle, and with a nice melee, and I think it was more fun to watch than just the enemy getting destroyed by Bess from a distance, like many of these battles have gone, plus a little bit of the skirmishing with the ogres that we like to do. Ooh, there we go, and the dead rise again. The Krusty Krabs nearly meeting their end there, crumbling away despite having half of their number remaining, but ultimately coming back at the end. Looks like well, actually 26k damage on the OG Crabby Boys. I was about to say the ogres are outperforming the Marauding Promethean gunnery mobs, but they're not actually, or at least not really. They are outperforming the Sartosans, but considering the disparity in the cost of the units, it's hardly surprising. Looks like the 88 caliber magic pistols did fantastic here, getting 188 kills. The Grog Gunners, 203 as well. Very nice units to the both of you. They're the standouts, plus the OG Crabby Boys in this particular battle. Came down to the wire for the Vampire Fleet Captain as well. And it looks like one of the carronades did a lot more damage than the other one, but, well, not a big deal. As always, Queen Bess cleans house, but she always does, so that's nothing new. We are going to assimilate captives because we have to, and frankly the money reward isn't all that much. 3 of those armies have been destroyed, and it looks like 1 does remain. What do we have in this army? Nothing crazy, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, another Armor of the Deep. This is the third one we've gotten. So the game really likes giving us those Armors of the Deep. I do believe that we can't actually reach Migdel van Gelberek even after destroying this army here. So we'll have to reach it next time / next episode as we are out of time once more. And I'm gonna call the episode here. And next time we will probably grab this place, transfer it to the Ogres, then grab Grenstadt, and hopefully by transferring it to Vlad and get that military alliance going with him, acquiring vision of all of this territory, and more importantly, more vampiric units. Could really use that Mortis engine in a few armies, and I am salivating at the idea. And hopefully a Mortis engine will be on the field from the Caravan of Blue Roses soon as well. Anyway, I'll take care of a little bit of the building admin between the episodes, spend some of that money, and transfer around that ship's carpenter between these guys, and when we come back, we can head back to more Total War. Anyway, stay tuned for more Vampirates. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.